We're really excited because, again, this is actually celebrating Block 1, which is the rebirth of downtown. And it's a great celebration of a whole area in our core that is building up. Now, I want to introduce the people before we start. I know we have several council members here. The mayor is going to be joining us in a moment, but I know that the vice mayor is here, Janet Miller. So, Janet, you're in the crowd, I know, somewhere. We're glad you're here. We know Levanta Williams is here as well. Actually, Janet and Levanta are our two downtown council members. This property is actually in Levanta's district, and we really appreciate their continued support, not only for this project, but all the things that are happening in our downtown and also in the region as well. I know Councilman Pete Meissner is here as well, so Pete, we're glad you're here too. If I'm missing any council members, please forgive me. I can't see you for the crowd. That's a good thing, but we're glad you're here if you are. Also, I want to recognize a few people just as we get started today, too, that are really important to what's happening in this block. I know Jerry Jones is here with Slausen's company. Jerry, they own the building actually right behind me, the Henry's building, a great building that is active now with possibilities because of what we're celebrating today. I know Matt Jordan is here with the Leadership Center, another great partner with the Kansas Health Foundation and the Kansas Leadership Center, the new project that we'll also be celebrating later on this year. Again, today we're celebrating 3 buildings. Later on this summer we'll be celebrating the Leadership Center and what will be happening also in the Henry's building. We also want to mention Tina Morano and Morano Studios. They have done the beautiful work, the artistry in this block. One of the great things about Wichita are the arts. You don't have to walk beyond this block to begin to see what's happening along Douglas Avenue, but also the museum districts. But the arts are such a critical part of the success of this city, and you see that behind me, but also in the garage as part of that development. So Morano Studios, y'all have done a great job. I know Terry Cassidy is here. Terry actually did this project as far as helping from the city side to make it possible. Terry has now retired but not forgotten. I'm seeing you, Terry, through the crowd. Thank you for all your work to make this happen. It's impeccable, the project that we're celebrating today. The design team, WDM Architects, I know Dan Wilson and Wes Darnell are here. Again, great team of pulling things together. And then we also have, I know Dave Wells here with Key Construction, the guy who took the plans and made it happen and become reality. So I know that Paul and others will be talking about the groups, but again, from the WDDC point of view, we wanted to thank these individuals for the great work that they're doing. You know, again, today we celebrate the completion of the Ambassador Hotel, the new urban plaza that we're standing in, the Block 1 parking garage, each contributing to the overall development known as Block 1. Project Downtown, the master plan of Wichita, is a blueprint for downtown's development. And today we're celebrating really the realization of concepts in that master plan that have become reality today. Several years ago, our mayor set forth in his first term the importance of having a plan that would lead us in the further development of downtown that serves not only downtown's sake, but also a vibrant economic center for the region of Wichita. In his first term, Project Downtown was derived and adopted unanimously by the council in December of 2010. Today, in his second term, we are celebrating a ribbon cutting, which more to come, for projects resulting from the community's vision and his leadership. Please help me in welcoming our mayor, Mayor Carl Brewer. Mayor?
Well, today is a day, certainly a day for excitement here in our community and in our downtown area. But, you know, I do want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today as we celebrate this historical event here inside of our community. But I do have to ask you a question. And for some of us, those of you that are younger, you don't have to think back that far. But those of us that may be, well, I'll just say my age and I'll be safe. Just think back the number of years. And if you can remember 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago, what was in this particular area? Can you remember that? I can remember it. In fact, I can remember what was going on in this particular area when I was probably 15 years old and catching the bus to this area here just to go shopping. I didn't have a lot of money, but I did shop. A lot of window watching. You know, it has changed significantly. This building here was an empty office building, and it sat vacant for dozens of years over there. Where you parked in the new parking block, one block parking garage, that was surface parking. And there was the where the Kansas Leadership Center's new statewide headquarters is still going up. Well, that was also a surface parking lot. Now, it's a more attractive than ever a surface parking lot. But now, it's the first new construction on Douglas in almost 40 years. Now that's one historical mark that we've made here in the community. And finally, we have the Henry's building, which has the great interest and will soon be developed. Then, where we're standing is the one block urban plaza. Link it all together. One of the things that we've heard over and over is that a downtown needs to be a walkable with this beautiful plaza, this public art and improvements. The alley is truly a walkable city. So this is the date to celebrate. You know, sometimes I think we forget to celebrate because we're so busy moving into the next project, which is great. But today, this is our day to stop, to take a deep breath, to pause, and to thank everyone who helped make Block 1 a reality. First, we have to give thanks to Paul Corey and his team at Corey Properties. And his partners in Wichita, Dave Burke and Dave Wells, and the Ambassador Hotel General Manager, Michael Frimmel. And we thank you for bringing one of Paul's beautiful boutique hotels to Wichita. You had a vision, and we're fortunate that vision took an empty building and turned it into this wonderful facility. Second, a big thanks to Scott Knable, city's downtown revitalization manager, as well as our city manager, Robert Layton, and all the city staff who helped to make this project a reality. Thank you, Scott. I know they're here somewhere. Working with the private sector, they got the garage built and ready to go for the Ambassador's opening, along with moving forward the entire Block 1 development. And third, I just like to say, like the staff, and they deserve a great recognition and thanks. And that's somebody that I work very closely to. This particular area, they had vision. They were focused. They recognized what the need of our community is. They had our community at heart. And they were willing to lead the way. And that's the members of the Wichita City Council who took a brave stance in believing in our community and moving forward. Sir, we thank the taxpayers each and every day. And third, we'd like to continue working together with the development project downtown and Block 1 as a direct result of that plan. So on behalf of everyone, we thank everyone for coming today. But this is what we as a community, what we can do together collectively. And that when we said we wanted to be competitive with other cities throughout the nation, when we said we wanted a more viable downtown, a more attractive downtown, a place where everyone wanted to come, they wanted to work, they wanted to visit. Even some businesses wanted to move here, and young families wanted to move to this community. We wanted to provide them with what they wanted, and we went forward and we did that. We had the vision, we had the passion, and this is just a start of our vision and our passion for the citizens of Wichita. So again, thank everyone, and thank everyone for this celebration, and thank you for your hard work. And now that you've taken that deep breath and that sigh, it's time to roll up our sleeves and get back to work.
Thank you, Mayor. The next person we want to introduce and have the pleasure of introducing is Paul Corey. And Paul is the chairman of Corey Properties. And again, you can have a great master plan. You can have the ability to do it through the political leadership and also the community. But you have to have great quality developers that come in and take those concepts to completion. And along the way, they make them even better from what you originally thought as a concept. So with great pleasure today, we want to introduce Paul Corey, chairman of Corey Properties.
Thank you, Jeff. I think it goes without saying that Jeff Fleur has made one of the greatest assets that Wichita has, and you guys are lucky to have him. Make sure you keep him. I don't know when your review is due, but I would take good care of that guy. Mayor, thank you for your kind words. Wichita, you're a great city. I've fallen in love with this city, and the city council, the mayor, the citizens, the Chamber of Commerce, everybody just rolled out the red carpet for us and helped us figure out how to make this deal successful. And economic development tools and incentives and things like that, yeah, taxpayers, we appreciate all that. But the truth is, Wichita deserves this. And we're excited to bring this new boutique hotel to Wichita. This is our flagship property. And I'm going to tell you something, the people I've hired here are the best people in our organization. The Wichitans are fantastic, hardworking, just fabulous people. And I'm excited to be a part of this community. So I need to thank some people that helped make this possible. Dave Burke and Dave Wells, I don't know where they are, but without them, I wouldn't be in Wichita. And the architects, WDM, did a fantastic job designing this and helping us on our interior designs. Southwest Bank, Bankers Bank, to help finance this. Believe me, getting a bank loan on a hotel isn't the easiest thing to do, you might imagine. All the talented subcontractors and employees of Key Construction that worked diligently on this job. We had 4 or 5 really outstanding employees with Key, and I don't want to mention them all individually because then I'm going to offend the other ones that also think they did a better job. But they really did a good job for us. And I want to just give a quick shaggy dog story about connections and relationships to cities. So we were developing a hotel in Kansas City, and Key Construction did the project for us. And Dave Wells and I were talking about a product or a building in Wichita, and I said, you know, there's a twin city or a twin sister building to the hotel in Tulsa, and it was the Commodore. And so Dave comes back, he takes a picture of the Commodore, and he sends to me, he says, hey, it's just down the street, we should look at it. So I actually came here to look at the Commodore, and that didn't work out, but the interconnection between Tulsa, Wichita, and Kansas City brought us here, and Dave Burke had this building, and so here we stand really a year and a half, 2 years later, very quickly. And so, you know, people like Dave and Dave Burke, who I consider Mr. Wichita, by the way, have been great resources for me to make this happen. So here we stand at Block 1, and I'm incredibly impressed with the metamorphosis of this in such a short time. And the Kansas Leadership Center is phenomenal. I think architecturally, that's one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. And we're real excited to be partnering on the same block with them in the parking garage. And I'm anxious to see this area grow. I encourage the city to keep working on linkage between the Old Town area and the river and downtown. I think the vitality, retail, residential, you know, you're really ahead of the game right now residentially, and that lifeblood really drives these areas. And so again, Wichita, hats off to you. Really, in conclusion, I do have to say a special thank to my staff and people at the hotel. Michael Frimmel has put in thousands of hours getting this done. I moved him from Tulsa, I moved his family. It was a very tough deal, and I asked him last night, I said, do you have any regrets? And he said, yeah, that I didn't come sooner. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Paul. Another great partner in the day-to-day business of downtown, but also the region, is Go Wichita. And that organization, through Susie Santo and her staff, work hard every day to bring new people in to experience our city that then go back and talk about Wichita, not only to their communities, but beyond that. Today we have the pleasure of Ken Vandruff, who is the Director of Communications. Ken's going to come forward for Go Wichita and say a few words. Help us in welcoming Ken. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and to It's an honor for Go Wichita to be involved with helping to promote downtown Wichita. We think it's a great asset for tourism. We know that it's something that people remember when they come to an area. You always remember what the downtown looks like, and it shows that we're growing. It shows that we have a lot of excitement going on to see projects like the Ambassador and the Kansas Leadership Center. To have that going, it's just great when visitors come here because they see we are a growing and vibrant community. And I want to congratulate Paul Corey and his staff here at the Ambassador for the work you have done here just in the short time it's been open. It's already proving to be a very valuable asset in our hotel portfolio. I mean, visitors love the idea that they can come here, enjoy the amenities that they have. They're within walking distance of Century 2. They can see music theater, the symphony, the grand opera, and the other events that are held there. They're also in walking distance to Old Town and the shops and the restaurants and all of the nightlife and excitement that's happening in the Old Town area with the growth that's happening there. So, you know, it's great to be able to get visitors to think of it in those terms. Convention planners are going to be very impressed by the hotel. Its meeting facilities, that'll work out great for them. Its proximity to the Intrust Bank Arena, to its proximity to Century 2, where of course most of our major conventions are being held. So it's really a great selling point for us to be able to include the Ambassador in whatever project is going on. Let me give you an example. A few months ago, a little delegation from the United States Bowling Congress came to Wichita from Arlington, Texas. And we decided that let's put them up at the Ambassador so they can see what we have new and growing and exciting happening. Well, the delegation leader had never been to Wichita. His first visit, and he was very impressed and immediately impressed with the Ambassador. He said, you know, this is a hotel that I would have expected to see in a New York or a Chicago or a Boston. I'd never expect to find a hotel like this in Wichita, Kansas, or in a city the size of Wichita. So that impressed him. He then was impressed with all of the museums and the attractions and Old Town and Century 2 and our bowling facilities. And well, as a result, you may have heard we're going to do a little event called the 2019 Women's Championships. And that's going to bring... Now think of it, that's going to bring 30,000 bowlers to Wichita, along with friends, along with families. They're going to bring a lot of money into our economy, and they're going to have a great time. And the Ambassador was a very important part of that process of bringing them here. So again, Paul and your staff, Michael, thank you for your assistance on that. You know, we like to tell visitors that when you're thinking of Wichita, you can expect the unexpected. And the Ambassador has certainly lodged itself firmly on that list of the unexpected. So it's a great facility. So on behalf of Go Wichita and the travel and tourism industry of Wichita and South Central Kansas, once again, congratulations.
Another great partner we're going to hear from today is the Chamber of Commerce, Gary Plummer. And as I look out, I see Susie Allstrand. And one of the things that the Chamber has done over the last few years, actually going back to 2004, is Visioneering. Visioneering is a very important organization of the Chamber in that they really do help that continued dialogue about the important things that we need to have our attention on, the things we need to set our sights to, and then they really help us bring back how do we get there. And one of the things through Visioneering are the city-to-city visits. And we've gone to cities now for several years to look at the best of the best. And we're now seeing those type of things emerging in our city to the fact where cities like Tulsa, Baton Rouge, Fort Wayne are all now starting to come into the city to see what's happening here in our downtown, but also our community. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Gary Plummer, who's the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. Gary, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. You know, one of the new assets that we have here in Wichita that you really can't put a value on is not just this hotel property, not all the exciting things that are going on Block 1, certainly, but two tremendous cheerleaders now for Wichita that we didn't have a year ago, and Paul Curry and Michael Frimmel. And that really makes me excited to see newcomers to this community that are embracing Wichita and are singing our praises throughout the country, and certainly that brings us a lot of credibility. You know, as Jeff mentioned, the Chamber has been involved in downtown development as a member of the supporting cast for many years, well before my arrival. He mentioned the city-to-city trips, which each year has had a focus on downtown development and what the best practices are around the country. He talked about visioneering, and downtown is still one of the top 3 priorities that visioneering collaboration has identified. But because of our support and the way we have been involved in downtown development, we want to thank leaders with vision like Mayor Brewer, the City Council, all the volunteer leaders that have come and passed with Wichita Downtown Development Corporation, and certainly Jeff Fleur for the progress that has been made and the momentum that is building in downtown Wichita. The Ambassador Hotel is just a tremendous anchor project for that sort of downtown vitality that you need in order to have a strong economic climate in a city like ours. And certainly the other projects, the Kansas Leadership Center, the Henry Building, all make Block 1 a pretty exciting thing. I will have to tell you on a personal note that I'm kind of on a little bit of a bad streak when it comes to Block 1. The last event I attended on Block 1, I dressed the same way. And when I got back to the hotel, I was soaking wet. It was the Leadership Center groundbreaking. And today, as Tim Wisman pointed out, I'm pretty silly not to have an overcoat up here this morning. But I'll get through this quickly so that anybody else suffering like that can get back to a warm environment. I do want to thank again Paul Corey, some of his partners like Dave Burke and Dave Wells for what they have done, the support of the city of Wichita, and the commitment they have made to this project just is something that we all should appreciate and be thankful for. So again, congratulations to the ambassador today, and we're excited about everything that's going on around you and the new message that you're sending, the new image that you're portraying for the city of Wichita. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Our last speaker today is actually a gentleman I get the pleasure of working on a daily basis. He is the chairman of the Downtown Development Corporation, Gary Schmidt. Gary has been a long time, just an individual who has been promoting Wichita, not only from downtown's sake, but also as a region. At the conclusion of Gary's comments, we'll actually pull this podium back. We'll ask all the speakers and then those with the design teams. I know you may want to have Mike come forward as well. Anyone as far as working with the hotel, we'd love for you to be a part of that today. So Gary Schmidt at this time will come forward. He is the chairman of the Downtown Development Corporation. Gary?
Well, thank you very much. I want to thank all the speakers and everybody that came out today. I see that we're getting a little bit of sunlight, so my 30-minute presentation will go just fine once you warm up. You know, and that's the key. Well, I'm going to make it short because I'm between you and getting warm again. So, but as WDDC board chair, I want to say, wow. 3 years ago, this was just a dream. And the fact that the ambassador, the Kansas Health Foundation, the opportunities we have with the Henry's building, the public-private partnership with the parking garage, this is amazing for downtown Wichita and all the people involved. Paul, your group, the Health Foundation, thank you very much. It's been wonderful, and city and county people, we all had to work together. And from WDDC, I can't think of a better group of people to work with, and we're so excited having the opportunity to work with this group. Every morning when I drive in from East Wichita, it's just a pleasure to see all the new things that are going on in downtown Wichita, be it St. Francis, this property, or just all the other little things that are going on. And there's a lot of big things coming forward. And I can't wait to be at the next groundbreaking and the next ribbon cutting to just continue to develop downtown the way we want it. But, you know, Block 1, a full city block to be renovated, is just a great star in the community, and it's so wonderful that we could put all this together in one place. And again, thank all of you for what you did. I really feel like we've unlocked the private sector. People are now excited about downtown Wichita, and I think there's a lot of benefits we'll reap in the future because of what Block 1 has done and set a standard. So, again, thank you, everybody, for your participation, and we look forward to more and more ribbon cutting. So, Jeff, thank you much.
It's a little thing.